I just got to ask the question, and I'm serious. At some point, I don't know if God is actually rooting for the Chiefs or helping them. I have no idea what's going on. They're this close to 0-3, and they are not 3-0 because of crazy, awesome comebacks. They are 3-0 because of the craziest thing. So the 49ers lost, and one of the last plays was a pass interference call, which was the right call.
Yep.
It's almost the same exact play. It's just outside versus inside. The linebacker turns his head. The ball is underthrown to the receiver, and it's a PI. The right call, 49ers should lose. Same thing happens to the Chiefs. Same thing, and they get away with it. The week before, they get the call. They get the call last week. They make a PI this week and don't get it, and they barely won. I don't understand it. I don't know why Atlanta didn't kick a field goal. If they'd have kicked a field goal, they got the ball back. They'd have kicked another field goal. They'd have won. People are missing extra points. Refs are. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I'm just saying there is something. Mahomes, his stats are not good. I'm not saying they're horrible, but when you talk Mahomes, everybody would say he's the best quarterback in the league. Now, Josh Allen's making some arguments right now, right?
No.
But like overall, Mahomes has been number one. Mahomes is not. Let me tell you where Patrick Mahomes is. QBR 20th, passer rating 17th, total yards 12th. Average per attempt, 18. That means his receptions are he's throwing it to a running back who's doing everything. He's not top 10 in anything.
Yeah.
And Kelsey's not doing anything, and they don't have Pacheco.
I would hate to see what his stat line is right now. Travis's stat line has to be the worst of his whole career.
Yes, and so but they're win. It's like it's like almost like, hey, don't worry, guys. I'll just have the kicker miss an extra point. You got this. No problem.
I'm
amazed.
I honestly think these teams are intimidated by them.
I think that's some of it. But you even have like Mahomes had a chance to seal the game. He was 3 and out. He had another chance to seal the game again. This last 2 possessions, 3 and out, missed a guy wide open, just threw it in the dirt, and he wasn't pressured. But they win. Somehow the other team comes down and they have a chance to win, and a ref does this So I would rather be the Chiefs. I would rather have the fortune. I've had teams that have had fortune, and I've been really, really happy. But at some point, they're doing something right. Andy Reid is living right. I don't know what it is, but kudos to them. They're 3-0. So,
yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say what's going on there because they continue to do it. As far as the pass interference thing goes, I felt like when they called the penalty last week, in my opinion, I don't know what the rule book says. So I'm just kind of going from an outsider's perspective.
like they're both going for the ball.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought the rule is both players have the right to the ball. And to me, it looks like that player is trying to intercept the ball.
Right.
Which means he has the right to the ball. So I don't understand why that is a PI because they're both going for the ball. Now, most people sound like they agree with the PI calls, so maybe I just don't understand the rules right.
Well, I think you are right. Both players have a right for the ball. When you see contact when the ball's in the air, you just automatically say, he got hit first. But then you got to replay. That's why I think certain plays inside of 2 minutes or something, there should be a replay on something like this because teams are winning Super Bowls or winning playoff games or going to Super Bowls because of these calls. Yeah. And if the rule is that you both get a play on it, then you should be able to touch another player. But what the refs are doing now is I think they're looking and say they just see contact and they just throw the flag on the defensive player. And I think if they watch it again, if you see the player is going up for the ball and there's contact, then there's no PI. Yeah. And that's the way it should be called.
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense to me. If let's say a safety is going to intercept a ball and he's got a wide open catch.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden out of nowhere, a wide receiver hits him. Is it PI on the safety now?
Correct.
That's why I don't understand.
No,
that's what doesn't make any sense to me. And then in the opposite on the opposite way, the other PI that was actually called or not called,
right?
He's got his back to the ball, and that's how I always thought it was supposed to be called. Is if you have your back to the ball, it's a PI.
Right.
It's almost like an automatic PI.
Yeah. There's
no other ifs, ands, and buts because you can't see the ball.
I agree with you.
You can't be playing the ball if you can't see the ball.
I totally agree with you.
So anyways, I'm not going to go ahead and say that the Kansas City Chiefs win football games because of PI calls, but I
No.
will say
They're just
in that specific situation, those two different calls are just, it's confusing to me. As someone who's sitting at home watching the football game, it's confusing to me because it's not consistent.
what I guess where I'm looking at it, I'm just thinking, whatever, it could go either way. When a call goes either way, it's just they've got fortune. I don't think there's a conspiracy. I'm not trying to come. I would like the fortune to be on my team every time. I would want that. But it seems like if you go back, it is on their side. They're doing something right. They are getting this all the time.
Yeah.
And you wonder how long. What I wonder about the Chiefs, and we'll see going forward, I think their schedule actually gets easier coming up in the middle of the season. But they remind me a little bit, the Eagles last year had a lot of close games at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they just barely were
Our
winning.
first 10 wins were all
winning.
close games.
Yeah, and so I don't know if that's where the Chiefs are. And I know after you win a Super Bowl, it's lethargic. You come back and you're not, all in. And maybe that's some of it, but they just don't look. I think there is an aura about them and people are afraid. I think that is definitely it. But they just got fortune, and I'm not complaining. I'm wanting to know how we can get that fortune.